I aimed my gun at a wild wolf. Suddenly noticed something was wrong around the wolf. I quickly switched to edit.x scope. Sure enough, there was a huge signal jammer nearby. I realized something was wrong. Quickly looked around in all directions. I found signal jammers installed everywhere around the farm. As a retired Special Forces soldier, I instantly knew something big was coming. Before I could react, I saw 4 armed vehicles heading toward my house. The local mercenary group was in those cars. They were ruthless killers. The cars got closer to my house. I fired a warning shot, shouted for my wife and daughter to hide. Then I ran toward home. The armed men had reached the door. They raised guns and attacked me. To survive, I found cover and quickly fought back. The next second, one gunman in the car had only half a head left. Hearing gunshots, my wife and daughter grabbed phones to call police, but the phones had no signal. The armed men didn't know who they were dealing with. Seeing they outnumbered me, I grabbed my gun and rushed into the house. I told my wife and daughter to hide in the upstairs room. I quickly loaded bullets. When the gunmen charged up, I opened the door and instantly killed one enemy. This enraged the armed men. They fired wildly at the house. The house went quiet. The leader ordered his men to surround it. They underestimated me, a Navy SEAL veteran. The enemies grabbed axes to break down the door, but found it wasn't locked. The next second I fired one shot, then quickly moved to the kitchen. I smashed bowls on the floor. This way, when enemies came in, I could tell their positions. Sure enough, the enemies rushed in and focused on every corner of the house. They didn't notice the broken pieces on the floor. When enemies stepped on the pieces, I fired one shot through the door. My wife and daughter, hiding in the closet, were trembling with fear. When an enemy was about to open the door, my wife pulled the trigger decisively. Hearing intense gunfire inside, the leader realized this opponent was different. He sent teammates for backup, but they underestimated my solo combat ability. When one enemy reached the stairs, I instantly put my gun to his head. This enraged the leader. He led his guys in a full assault. They fired at me as I escaped to the second floor. Since I had the terrain advantage, the gunmen didn't dare move carelessly. They sent one teammate to scout ahead. As soon as the teammate showed his head, I shot him from my second floor position. While I reloaded, the gunman quickly advanced to the second floor. I could only use years of combat experience to keep picking off whoever came up. After a few rounds, I'd taken out many enemies. Even if they showed just 1 foot, I could hit it precisely. This made an enemy hiding in the corner afraid to move forward. Facing the leader's pressure, he had to take the risk. The next second, I put my gun to his head, then knocked him down. While our gunfight was intense, a police car heard the shots and drove into the farm. The leader wasn't afraid. He directly ordered his guys to deal with the police car. The officer didn't know what was happening. The next second, his car got sprayed with bullets. He could only quickly reverse. Seeing the police car go quiet, the gunman thought the officer was dead. The next second, one got shot. The leader fighting me inside the house got angry. He threw a grenade upstairs. I saw it coming, but didn't panic. I jumped out the window, successfully met up with my wife and daughter, who'd just escaped. I told my wife to get the car from the garage. I went outside to rescue the officer. I successfully took out several enemies from the side, but the officer still got shot and died. Worse yet, I was locked in the gunman's sights. If I dared show myself, deadly bullets would follow. I hid behind cover, not daring to look up. My wife suddenly drove the car over. Taking this chance, I jumped into the car, hit the gas, and escaped the enemy circle with my family. The leader wouldn't let this go. To avenge his dead brothers, he got in a car and started chasing my family.